Welcome to the man cave. Something doesn't feel right.
Let's freaking go, Birds!
That's right, guys, I'm sorry. I am a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm a Birds fan. I'm a die-hard freaking Birds fan. So congrats to the freaking Birds for trouncing, smacking, crushing the dang Kansas City Chiefs. Now, before you click off, my Chiefs fans, props to you guys. I mean, you're in Super Bowl 3 years in a row. It's pretty damn good. And chances are you're probably gonna be back next year. So hats off on a great season. And to my Birds fans and fans that were rooting for the Eagles in the Super Bowl, what a game. All right. I'll chill on the Eagles fandom, but for real, you guys clicked on this video, and I appreciate the heck out of you for clicking on it because you took time out of your day to come watch my video. And what you saw is you're gonna get a full tour of the man cave. And the man cave is a couple things. We got the fishing shop here. We got the podcast studio out there. We got my kayak and everything out in the garage, which we'll trounce through the snowy tundra to go and show you guys. We're gonna walk through rod reel setups, fishing storage, the whole gamut. Everything that I have will be linked down below, even the podcast gear, the whole gamut. That way you guys tuning in, if you see something you like, you can go down, find it, grab it. If it's not there for some reason, drop a comment, DM me on social. Let's get into the man cave walkthrough. As you can tell, there's not much to do in Buffalo in the winter. So I really hope you guys like this video, so please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and just one more time, go Birds. All right, so we are gonna start in the room you guys probably all wanna see, and this is the shop, where all my fishing stuff is at. It's a little bit, to an extent, discombobulated right now because we are fully packed for Texas here in a couple weeks, but I'm gonna run through all of it with you guys, kind of how I set up this little shop down here to make it work for me, not only for all my fishing stuff, but we got all of our hunting gear and everything in here too. So we'll walk through the whole gamut with you guys, and then stick around if you want to see the podcast studio and kind of how I do the rest of the man cave. But I'm sure most of my fishing folk want to see the fishing stuff, so we'll get to that here first. So like I said, all this stuff is just a little bit of craziness right now. A little bit of disarray, but what we got here in the corner is the different microwaves and ovens for the do-it molds, like if I want to pour jig heads, pour my own baits. A lot of spare tackle boxes. Spare reel cases. We got the old JBL speaker in here. Some extra powder stuff, gears, backup reels, backup line. Most of my line is actually, as I break all these rods, is actually in this here bag that I use to travel with. And that's got all my bulk spools, spare spools, braid. It's got whole bunch of crap in here. From 4-pound line all the way up to 65-pound braid. This is kind of my travel pack to make sure I got everything at all times. There's nothing worse than being out on the road and not having the line that you need to respool, leader line, things like that. So I have line, and more line. Back to it, we got some used mag drafts hanging over here. Used glide bait that I need to, this is the TS7. I need to fix all of the hardware on this. We took this one saltwater fishing. If you missed those videos, they are down in my YouTube channel, but it's all rusted out, so I'm not gonna put that with all my other glide baits, but I need to change all the hardware on that sucker, clean it up a little bit before we take it down to Texas. Some soft swim baits. We got just some spare baits that always lay around. You guys know how fishing is. We always just have stuff laying around everywhere. We got some spare tools, spare kayak mounts, accessories, some coffee mugs and stuff up there. And again, more and more just extra hardware stuff for if I need replacements. And then here on this wall, we've got a bunch of random stuff that I really don't have a place to put it, either because I have an excess of it or just simply don't have a great place to put it. We got a bunch of terminal tackle, some swim baits, some big hair jigs. Just picked up this little Gilsoft here that I'll be trying this year. Just any excess or miscellaneous tackle I put over there. And kind of same with the wall. If it doesn't really fit in or it's not going with me somewhere and it's just extra stuff, we got the whole wall here. So a lot of my smallmouth MaxScent stuff is up here. Some baits that I don't plan on using for a while are super situational. That's usually what gets put on the wall. And then the rest of them get put over here, which I'll get into here next. But it's kind of all discombobulated because we have actually a giant thing, bag and tote of baits that we're gonna go donate to the local high school club We got some rods and reels, as you saw up here on deck. We're selling some, but then we're actually donating the rest as well. If I'm not gonna use them, then you might as well, some kid that would put them to use, they might as well have it over me. Believe it or not, this is probably one of the most organized this room's been. So on here, here's all of my go-to tackle, and it's this whole shelf right here. So we got, starting at the bottom, a bunch of, we'll go through this stuff with you guys too. I'm gonna go sort through all this here. I just wanna give you guys the room layout, and then I'll actually set this up, tripod, and go through some of these boxes with you guys and show what I have. We got all boxes here on bottom. Coming up, we got them labeled and everything. We got kind of our go-to soft plastics by category. And these are mostly all kind of backups and spares, where our starter stuff, our best stuff, is gonna be in these Evolution bags. So you can see here, this Evolution bag for all my drop shot stuff. I got all my RoboWorm, everything in there. My flipping baits, so we got a bunch of Berkley Pit Bosses, you know, Rage Bugs, different flipping plastics in here, you know, small swim baits. So this bag is just loaded to the helm with Spark Shads, Kitex, Rage Swimmers, Cast swim baits. So you guys can kind of see the trend here. So we got a bag full of all Senkos, a bag full of all just Nico stuff. And then this is actually my favorite new bag for carrying on all of my mag drafts. So you can see there's a lot of bigger swim baits in here that fit perfectly. So mag drafts, Al Dangerous swim baits, some bigger Kitex fit perfectly here in that little pamphlet. And up top you can see we got some more soft plastics in here. Some more little bags, and then things like, you know, my forward-facing minnow stuff that could fit almost 20 bags in this little pouch. So I got stuff like the minnows, jig trailers, chatterbait trailers, and then got all my go-to line, leader line, I should say, here in this little Evolution bag. And then lastly, our big bait bag. So this, you guys have seen me talk about before in a recent video, the big bait bag that holds all of my glide baits. That goes into here. So I'm not gonna run through all of it with you guys, obviously, because that is a lot to go through. And we're gonna go through my rod and reel setups and stuff with you guys. So what I do wanna walk through though is kind of the diversity of stuff that we have. So like I showed you guys, we got 2 different tackle boxes here. All of them are from Evolution Outdoors, as I've showed you guys in previous videos. These things are, one, waterproof, durable, but also really dang cheap. I think they're like 12 bucks a pop, and then you can go and use discount code down below. Especially if anything's linked to Omnia Fishing, use code Series10, save another 10%. But got all my jerk baits, typically all of my go-to stuff that I need to make sure, especially is waterproof, from you know, jerk baits, jigs, chatterbaits. I'm gonna have that all in these boxes, that sea foam type color to it. These green boxes, these are more kind of like my terminal stuff. So as you can see, I got all of my jig heads here in this box, sorted by size, hook size, and then my weight box, this is a heavy sucker. It might be small, but it's heavy. And it's arranged by type of weight, flipping weight, size. I even went with a little label maker that my wife had. Put some stuff on here to really kind of went OCD overload and threw all of my stuff into there. So I got a bunch of different boxes all separated with all my gear just to go on tackle management overload. So like I showed you guys with these bigger bags holding my plastics, these are gonna be, you know, the day boxes that easily just fit into a kayak, or if I'm putting them in a backpack to go fishing with a buddy, is the perfect management for my soft plastics. Then I do have boxes like this that are, I think these are like, you can get I think it's like a 12 pack, or it might be more, don't quote me. I'll link them down to Amazon and down below, but it's super cheap. Ways if you want to just keep them stored at home or say in your truck, something like that. I really like the bags, but these you can get crazy organized with. So like stuff at home, you just take off these lids and you can just put an absolute crap ton of plastics in. And I of course went with the label maker and got everything all sorted out. But these are like a 12 pack for like 15 bucks of these bad boys. And as you can see, I got everything all organized down here. And so those, again, have all of my backup plastics, kind of like, you know, if I have 12 packs of one bait, I'm gonna put 2 or 3 in, you know, my jig trailer go bags, and then I'm gonna put the rest in there so that they're ready to go. They'll come with me to Texas so I can have excess that'll sit in the truck or the Airbnb. And this stuff will be, this is the stuff that's gonna go in the kayak, these bags. These are the ones that are gonna go in the kayak with me out for when I'm fishing. Now, one thing that is cool that I appreciate is these little bait binders. And typically I wasn't a big fan of these actually. I gotten a couple out of curiosity, but what I've done with these is I never really had a good tackle box that wasn't huge, but also didn't ruin my spinner baits. And so this little thin little thing, I can slide literally under my seat of my kayak. I could put it in the backpack behind my seat. I could put it in my tackle bin. I could slide it next to my tackle bin because these are gonna be protected. But I got my little bait binder here, all my different spinner baits from color, size, blade type, blade color, all that stuff, all organized down in here. And I'm a big fan of how that's gonna be organized, and that's coming with me, especially down to Texas, because y'all know spinner bait in the spring is. And then too, if you're a pond guy, I definitely wanna make that more of what I do this year. I wanna twist that in because there's days it's gonna be too windy. I don't really wanna go out in the kayak and deal with the wind, but I do wanna go bassing. So I'll go pond fish, pond hop. I got a bunch of these cool bags from Evolution that are kind of like day bags. I could put, 5, 6 tackle boxes, some plastics. All the tackle boxes I actually took out of here to fill and are on the shelf right now. But they got anywhere from the small bags to your big ones. So like you can fill this sucker up with a bunch of boxes, a bunch of tools, plastics, things like that. I'm gonna go out on a buddy's boat or something like that. Okay, so keep it rolling. I know you guys always are asking about rods and reel setup. So don't think I'm gonna go through all 30 of them. Yes, I have 30. Yes, I have a problem. Yes, I know I have a problem. But I'm gonna walk through a decent amount of stuff with you, especially the new ones, because there's some you guys have seen on this channel, but I'll try to actually do my best to run through them quick. If I think I'm running through them quick, I'll try to go through them all. Otherwise, I'm really just gonna go through the main ones that I think I will be using in 2025. Because we have quite the diverse lineup now going into 2025. We changed some things up. So I have casting rods here on the right side. That's like punching, dragging a jig, kind of like your power, but power sensitive, like stuff that's gonna be, bottom contact type of deal. For the most part, there's a little bit of crossover. And then I have casting moving baits, and then have all my spinning rods over here. So to start off, here what we got. I have 2 Daiwa Tatula XT casting rods. These are both 7.3 heavies. What I'm gonna have, I got a Abu Garcia Revo SX rocket and a Revo rocket, both very fast casting reels. 65-pound Seaguar Smackdown. These are my frogging setups. And worst case scenario, I could take a dual purpose for punching, but these are gonna be both my frogging setups. The idea is to have 2 different frogs on deck, whether popping or a normal standard frog, especially when you're on mats and you want options. I can have multiple different frogs on deck if need be. But right there, that is a $100 rod. It is a dang broomstick. It's a little bit heavier, but if you're looking for a good frog rod and you don't want to spend over $100 because you're gonna beat the snot out of it, that is a great rod. From there, in line with that, I have my punching setup. This is a 711 extra heavy Abu Garcia Fantasista X Shimano Corrado K 65-pound braid. This one's kind of a workhorse. I use it all over the board. It's a 7.3 medium heavy Trika. It's a 6X. They have a 3X and a 6X. This is my swim jig rod right now. Got a little 6 cents Divine swim jig on there. Just a simple Shimano SLX. I think that's 40-pound braid. That's gonna be my swim jig rod. You could throw a buzzbait on there. You could flip a light Texas rig if you want straight braid. But for most part, this trip, especially ongoing, it's just gonna be my swim jig rod. So I have 3 different Fenwick rods here that I'll run through with you guys. They're all the Fenwick Elite, and this is a 7.3 medium heavy. It's gonna be my football jig rod. You got a queen tackle hammerhead jig on there. Shimano SLX, 17-pound fluorocarbon. If you have not tried the new lineup of Fenwick rods, they are freaking legit. Next is just gonna be kind of a Senko flipping rod. I could throw a creature bait on it too, but this is a 7.5 medium heavy, something a little bit longer. 17-pound fluoro. You got that Bates Hundo on there. That is a freaking bad Mamma Jamma reel. That's gonna be like dragging a Senko, dragging a worm, dragging a speed worm. Something I want to launch with that longer rod. And then the last Fenwick is a 7.1 heavy fast. This is just kind of my jig flipping rod, 20-pound straight fluorocarbon. I got a Beast Coast little Magnum on there for now. That's just gonna be one I'm gonna throw down in Tennessee. We're gonna beef that sucker up to a bigger jig when we get to Texas. And then the new Lew's Custom Pro. Actually, I'm not the giant fan of Lew's reels, but I am a really big fan of the new Custom Pro. So the last 3 in this category, I'm going to be experimenting a little bit. Bates sent me this little new OG reel, a little round reel. I've never owned a round reel. I'm actually intrigued to throw it, especially for like some smaller swim baits, things like that. But I actually have this on a 7.1 medium heavy. It's a little bit more past the medium heavy. And it is a Abu Garcia Xenon rod. All I have is just a freaking gaff of an EWG, because I'm gonna try throwing around a poop bait. Yes, you heard that right. I'm gonna throw a poop bait on this. I'm sure there's a better setup, but this is what I'm gonna start with. That's what this world's come to, round reels and poop baits. Then I have probably my absolute most favorite rod in the world, simply because of how much good juju it has on it and big fish. This is a little bit older. This is an Abu Garcia Fantasista Premier. It's a 7.6 heavy. I've thrown A-rigs on this. I've thrown glide baits on it. I've punched with it. I've frogged with it. I've thrown mag drafts on it. It's kind of my almost designated mag draft rod, but now it's just kind of be like a soft swim bait rod, because I got a little Hayabusa belly weighted hook on there, 20 pound straight fluorocarbon, something I can go throw a soft swim bait on, like a mag draft or something of sorts. And I got that on a Revo STX. That is the old gen Revo STX2. Lastly is we got a Alpha Angler clutch. It's a 7.5 medium heavy. Well, they rate it as a medium fast, but it's a medium heavy fast. And this is going to be my finesse football jig rod. Saving this for along the lines when we go down to Tennessee before Texas. But definitely might come out a little bit in Texas too. Hopefully it doesn't have to. We got a Shimano SLX MGL 70 XG. Now this is straight 12 pound fluorocarbon. Well, definitely a big player here in New York, I can tell you that. All right, moving on to the moving baits. We got a Abu Garcia Veritas PLX. I got those Evolution bait holders on there. Kind of a little bit big for this one, but I'm just excited to not have treble hooks in my truck seats anymore. We got a little Berkley Fritzside on there, and then a Xenon MGX, and that is 12 pound fluorocarbon. This is gonna be kind of like a shallow flat side crankbait when we go down to Tennessee. Great rod for throwing Fritzside, flat side, some of your smaller crankbaits. So you're gonna see a little bit of a trend over the next couple rods. We got a DT8 rigged up on here. This is a Abu Garcia winch, 7.6, medium heavy, moderate fast. We got a Shimano Corrado K. I believe this is 6.2-to-1, 12 pound fluorocarbon for cranking. Another of the exact same setup, because I love it so dang much. And a Spro rock crawler on there. Let me stop by saying you do not need to have all this stuff. This is just because I'm insane. I'm just mentally insane, and I don't like to re-rig a lot on the water, so that's why I have so many dang rods. I don't want to bring this all on the water with me at the same time, I promise you that. But like when I'm going cranking, I like to have 8, 9 different options, and I don't want to retie all the time or use snaps. So yeah, all you need is a couple rods to go catch a bass. All you need is one rod to catch a bass. Then we have another Veritas PLX. This is a 7'6" medium heavy moderate. A Revo X on there, 12 pound fluorocarbon, Berkley Money Badger. Kind of be more of those deeper crankbaits, more of that 14, 16 kind of range that this rod will specialize in. Well, 12 to 16. Actually, it duels as a pretty nice backup chatterbait rod too. And then for the big plugs, we got another Shimano Corrado K, 6.2-to-1 on here, 12 pound fluorocarbon, and then a Dobyns Champion XP. This is a 806 CB, so this is gonna be like your 8XD, 10XD, your big plugs are gonna go on this bad boy. And then we got the trap rod. We got a Abu Garcia Fantasista X. It's a 7.6 medium heavy fast. We got a Strike King Red Eye on there, and a Xenon X with 15 pound fluorocarbon on that baby. And hopefully when we get down to Texas, we might play a little top water action, being that it'll be mid-March, fish will be shallow. So what I got, this is a 7.1 medium heavy moderate fast Abu Garcia winch. It's actually their square bill rod, but I use it as my top water rod. So I got a little Vixen on there, and then a Xenon X with 30 pound straight braid. And you guys saw me walk through my jerkbait setups, but for folks that missed that video, we got a Shimano X-Bride V, the 610 MB. We got a Shimano Bantam MGL on there. Pretty, I splurged. That is the most money I've ever spent on a reel, but I'm actually really excited to use it. And that's 10 pounds straight fluorocarbon. Got a little Vision 110 +1 Junior on there. And my other jerkbait rod, we got a Daiwa Tatula Elite. This is the Patty Walters rod. It's another 610, a little bit more beefed up. I got a Berkley Stunna on there, and then that is a Daiwa Tatula SV. I think it's the 103XS on there. We got 12 pound straight fluorocarbon. And then we got the rods for the Gloidas. Let me figure this crap out before I break a rod. We got a Dobyns Fury. Dobyns Fury 795 SB. It's their swim bait rod. A great budget swim bait rod. Shimano Tranks on here, 20 pound straight fluorocarbon. It's got a Spro KGB Chad on there. and then one for a little bit bigger glides, if not just to have, just as another dual swim bait rod. We have a 7.9 heavy, a little bit heavier than a heavy. This is an old Fenwick Elite rod right here, and then a Bates swim bait reel. That is a freaking bad to the bone swim bait reel. I actually kind of like this more than the Tranx. The nice part is you can actually use discount codes on those reels, whereas the Shimano's, you can't use a discount code on the stuff. So if you're buying a swim bait reel. All right, lastly of the moving baits, one that I'm actually really excited about because I think this might be my favorite chatterbait rod. I went and found actually moving water the other day that wasn't iced over just to simply try it because I was so excited for this. I've been all back and forth so much on chatterbait rods because there's glass, there's graphite, there's composite, and I wanted to make sure of both, and that's where I land on composite. And I've had composites, sometimes they're too soft, sometimes they're just not right. And this one I found I really, really, really like it. And this is the Arc Essence rod. So it's a little bit, you can see when you pick it up first, it's a little bit on the thicker side because it almost feels like a glass cranking rod. But when you feel this thing and you feel the bait moving, it is composite, so you get the feel, you get the sensitivity, but also you get one backbone, which is really nice in composites because it has that graphite blend, but also it's going to bend down the rod like a glass rod to help you get that hook penetration and that small delay that you want with a chatterbait. So what it is, it's a 7.4 medium heavy, and that is, got a Z-Man Evo chatterbait on there, Shimano Curado DC, 17-pound fluorocarbon. I am really excited for this rod, and I got a feeling like it's gonna be put to work here in Texas. Oh, the last casting rod, which will be saved for an upcoming video. We got some BFS going on. It's big fart syndrome. Just kidding, I'm actually kind of really excited for BFS, but we got a video coming up on BFS. All right, the last of the rods. I apologize for anybody that didn't care about the rod and reel setups. You're probably skipping through some stuff. I totally get it, appreciate it. Last couple of rods, spinning rods. You're going to see a trend. Alrighty, on the spinner poles, we have a Dobyns Champion XP. This is one I'm actually really excited about. A couple videos ago, I was actually fishing with my buddies Caleb and Alex. Caleb had this rod in his boat that I was using for a small ball head swim bait. We smoked him. It's become one of my new favorites for throwing that small swim bait. And you'll see another rod that has been put a lot of fish in the boat for me on a small swim bait that's gonna be dual purpose. I'm gonna compare them together this year, but this is a Dobyns Champion XP 733 SF. Got a Daiwa Tatula MQ with 10-pound braid on there to 8-pound fluorocarbon. Little small swim bait setup, Nico rig setup. I think I'm gonna be able to use this for a bunch of different things, but I'm really excited about that. And I think this line is X Plasma and then Seaguar and VizX. Just to go back to back here, the other setup I was talking about that I've been using for so long, and it's beaten up. Like you can see on here, I have it electrical taped because the rod actually from the handle separated. So super glued, electrical taped like a son of a gun, just so it wouldn't move anymore. It's a special rod to me. It's one that's just, it's been, put a lot of big fish in the boat. It was there for me when I needed it, when I was going fishing. But it's a Abu Garcia Fantasista Premier. It's a 7.6 medium fast. Got a little ball head on there for a swim bait. And again, 10-pound X Plasma to 8-pound Seaguar and VizX. It's actually a Riva winch spinning reel. So it slows down. It's meant for your smaller, slower baits like a little hair jig, a ball head swim bait, something that you want to be able to wind at a decent pace, but also have your gear ratio be super slow. That way you're not overpowering the bait for something like that you want to be slow. All right, and then next up we got the new Lew's LFS series, your budget spinning rod, budget rod series anyway, and I'm actually really like this stuff. For what it costs, it's a great rod. I love the cork that they added onto this. I got it paired up with a Shimano Naski. I don't know how to pronounce that, to be quite honest with you, so folks who do know, please comment down below. I got 10-pound Berkley X9 braid on there, a 10-pound Seaguar and VizX. It's just probably gonna be a wacky rig rod. Kind of just be my junk fishing rod. It's a 7.1 medium fast. You'll see a trend with that because I love me a 7'1" medium fast spinning rod. Next up is a Trika 3X 7-foot medium fast spinning rod. We got a little shaky head on there, another Shimano Naski, and same thing, 10-pound braid to 10-pound fluorocarbon. And the last two, I'm sure you guys are sick of me talking, or you've quite honestly probably exited the video. We have a Dobyns Champion XP. That's a 703 SF. Another Daiwa Tatula MQ. We have that new Berkley forward sinking braid on there. That is their 8-pound braid to 8-pound fluorocarbon. We got a little queen tackle rolling head on there with a mooch minnow from Rapala. That's going to be one of our jig head minnow setups. Yes, I did say one of because I have a couple now. With the other one being the exact same setup, being the 703 SF to the Daiwa Tatula MQ, and that is that Sunline sinking braid right there to another smaller jig head. I am extremely blessed to have the means to throw all this stuff. I do not need all of it. I probably should get rid of half of it. But I know a lot of people have been asking for a rod and reel walkthrough. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you have any more questions on the stuff below, let me know in the comments. But let's keep going with the tour. So over here is going to be my hunt site. Now I'll brief over this because I don't think you guys want to see hunting stuff, but we got our gun case, our bow sitting over here. And I got these new little gun bags from Evolution. That are gonna be pretty bad to bone and much needed because I have not had gun bags to protect my firearms when I go hunting or to the range. So pretty hyped about these. I'll link these down below as well, to Evolution, but this is where I put all of my firearm stuff, my bow hunting stuff. You'll see a little bit more of that out in the garage too. And over here, we have an extra freezer. This has all fish, venison stuff in there, where my wife makes me put all the fish and the venison because all of her veggies gotta go in the freezer. She doesn't watch these videos, so nobody tell her. All right, to the studio. The studio is a special one, especially for you guys that tune into the Serious Angler podcast. This is where all the magic happens. And so we got the room back here. That is, we got some trophy cases, things like that. My wife helped me put this together. I could not have made this look good. But we got some cool stuff over here from back in the day, like college degree that I don't ever use. Cool helmet, actually is game worn from the University of Notre Dame lacrosse team. Coach Corrigan actually gave me that helmet the last day of my internship I did there. It was pretty cool. So something pretty cool to me as well, fishing wise, is I went down to New Jersey, fished a Ike's charity event, and I was already that evening gonna go to Ike's studio and do the Ike Live. And after doing so, they hooked me up with a hat that Ike signed for it. So that stays in the, not really the trophy case, but stuff that brings back a lot of memories for me over here. But a lot of memories on this wall, and it was cool deal. My best friend Forrest Buchan actually gave me this. I really want to turn that thing into an LED, but we got a little cooler here. We can fill up with beer and stuff, so for long editing nights, that kind of comes in handy. That's where we keep all of our hats and try to decide which one we actually are going to wear. This is where all of the editing and the podcast stuff goes down. So here we got PlayStation. That is more to watch YouTube and stuff, but I do a little Fortnite, you guys know that. Do a little Fortnite, a little bit of video gaming. And so we got the Rode Studio here. Just control all the mics. You can see my mic arm here that I pull in for podcasts. iPad here for my map study that I do. If I don't want it on the computer, got all my file stuff for each of my endeavors. Got the Mac, got the editing studio, all of our stuff down here to try to stay organized. But this is where the podcasts all happen and the editing and all that jazz. Ring light. Yes, it's my wife's makeup light. No, do not make fun of me. That's what helps get lighting for the podcast. Over here, these are pretty cool. We're actually dropping a new podcast, my brother and I. We're gonna be doing some hunting talk, some outdoor talk, things like that. We'll have a whole story on how those two bucks were we killed in the same hour within 100 feet of each other. Cool little smallmouth deal my buddy John King made for me. And this is all of the camera gear that goes into making this here YouTube channel and podcast. My wife and I, we don't use it much, but this is a little bar, our little nightclub that we made for each other. And lastly, for down here, we have a little workout station right next to the things that always get a workout when I go fishing, and that is my Amped Outdoors batteries there. This bad boy is gonna be used a bunch this year on some trips up to the Adirondacks, where I will be sleeping out of my truck and fishing a bunch of different lakes up in the Adirondack backwoods. That's gonna be powering the whole dang way. So big shout out to Amped, pumped to be working with them again this year. But let's take y'all outside to end this here man cave walkthrough. That's where the boat lives, but hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing a little bit of the glimpse to behind the scenes over here at Be the Fish and Serious Angler. So outside we go. Now brace yourself. It's windy and cold. Say hello, good morning to the truck. We're gonna open up the garage here. Oh yeah, listen to all that ice break. So you're not gonna see a lot right now because a lot of what I've done is taken stuff inside to be protected from what the winter has brought. But there's some stuff that's still out here. And as you can see, the kayak is quite a mess right now. We're actually in the midst of taking this sucker back to Morgan Marine and getting our new one for the year. But I mean, we got ice and everything in here from a last trip that still has not thawed out yet. So there's that. Basically what we got going down here, we got our black pack, different storage stuff. We got the Graphs, the Apex, and the Explorer here, backup seat for my backup kayak. You'll see more of that later. Some backup sticks for hunting season. Really does nothing, it's all garbage over there. Broken rods. And then over here I got some extra ropes, boxes for all my electronics, spare Newport motor. That one broke, so I have a new one now. Actually still in the box waiting to get put on the new yak. And then here we got random baits hanging everywhere. I have my climber sticks for my saddle for bow hunting. We got camera mounts, my new sniper pole as I showed you guys recently. We're gonna do more of in-depth on that sniper pole at my kayak walkthrough, but we got our saddle, flogger up here, some spare arrows, our tent for camping, chairs, things like that. We got our bike, net, and our pedal drives hanging up here. Basically just a lot of random stuff over there and truck cleaning parts that are all frozen right now, and then my freaking badass Titan coolers. So like I said, not that much in there. And I'm freezing, so time to go back inside. Whew, that's cold. Back down into the man cave to wrap this sucker up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that walkthrough. I apologize about the camera work. If it was a little bit shaky trying to show you guys the different angles and talk to you and walk through and all. Either way, if you're still watching this, you are awesome. I appreciate the heck out of you. Again, all the stuff I showed down below is gonna be linked. Hope you guys appreciate the video. We got some more bait and technique stuff that we're gonna talk about here coming forward. Like I told you guys, like BFS, as well as the full walkthrough of my 2025 Hobie kayak will be coming here shortly before we leave for Texas. You guys are amazing. Appreciate y'all. Please like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.